Howdy, folks. I'm Mark, and today I am joined by Sarah Erickson. Sarah, thank you for joining me for this short talk about video games.
Glad to be here.
Well, you all are listening to Quick Play. You're here for a quick play, so let's get right into it. We don't actually get to do these in person often, but we have the benefit of living together as husband and wife. But so today was the big Switch 2 Direct that I've talked about. As a baseline, what do you know so far about any of it?
Okay. So you haven't told me anything about, and I haven't watched it.
Sure.
I seem to remember a couple months ago, maybe, there was the leaked images of the Switch 2.
There were leaks and stuff, but there was an actual official teaser announcement that was like,
Okay. Is that what? Oh, it's been thinking of with the magnets.
Yes.
Like the Joy console being like. So yeah, I remember that. It overall looked similar. Yeah, frankly, that's about it.
No, that's great. That's great. What has been your experience like with the first Switch, with the video games overall? But what have you enjoyed
about the Switch?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have. Granted, our first console was the Wii, and that was actually our only console. So my older brothers played computer games, and then so I didn't have like the Game Boy or anything that was portable.
Mm-hmm.
So this would have been my first portable experience.
Sure.
Which I enjoyed. Like, I think it's been fun. I think especially when we could play early on games online, where I would play on the Switch and you would play on the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
We did Rocket League that way and Lego Fortnite.
Yeah. It's maybe just those two.
The big ones.
Yeah. So I liked that. I enjoyed that. I think it works. Like, I like that it was light. I mean, I'm pretty easy to please.
Sure. Any of your favorite games have been over the past few years?
Let me see. I mean, you played a lot of Stardew Valley.
That's true.
I think that probably like time wise is the most significant. Obviously, Breath of the Wild was probably the second most played. We did play Rocket League. And the thing about Rocket League is I feel like there was a handful of times we kept going back to it. So I feel like my overall playtime actually is surprisingly high on that, even though I don't think there were times I played it alone, but overall not.
Gotcha.
That helps to me. Yeah, probably those three I would think would be my biggest three. I don't know if there's one I'm missing.
Animal Crossing. Yeah. Kind of in that same Stardew Valley vein.
Yeah. But that was shorter season. I mean, there was really only around like post-COVID.
Right. And Mario Kart 2 is a big deal, but that's true. That comes and goes as well.
That's true, yeah.
What would get you excited about the Switch 2? Like, what would convince you
to let you buy it?
I guess so.
So
we make these decisions together.
Get out of here. I don't know. I mean, I think I am just. I think maybe I'll go with the negative because I think that's more helpful.
Okay.
I think when you were we were talking about you buying it, I think my thought was worried that it would just be too similar. Like,
what's the point?
Right. Like, we already have this thing and it works.
Yeah.
So I think that would be my biggest, what I remember is like the Joy-Con magnet thing of that's cool, but
what else?
Yeah. And it's like, I know it's like the OLED screen. Is it baseline?
It is the LCD screen again. But we'll get into some of the differences. Yeah, we'll get there.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't have a great answer to that.
No,
what I really want, but I feel like vaguely to be different enough to warrant buying it.
Sure. Okay. Well, we'll run through what happened in that direction. It was an hour and 2.5 minutes long. So I can mess that down. But even then, all that, there was like a ton of random or important stuff that wasn't included. Like, they didn't talk about the price in that direct. They have a price now. I think it was at the time of recording, they probably didn't know what they wanted it to be, kind of with tariff stuff in the mix.
Sure. So what is it?
So on its own, it is $450.
Yeah. How much was the first Switch?
$300.
So
it's a $150 increase. There's a bundle with the new Mario Kart that's $500.
Yeah.
Mario Kart on its own is $80. Yeah. That's baseline games are probably going to be 70.
Because with the Switch, it was like 55, 60.
60 is kind of the baseline. And that's what this baseline video games have been for a while. And then a few years ago, Xbox and PlayStation games are now at 70. So 80 is a new benchmark, which is surprising.
They released that it was 80 on the...
Yes. There you go.
The Direct.
It was after the fact. That was kind of one of those things. They didn't talk about that in the recording.
Interesting.
The yen conversion for the Japanese Switch comes out to about 330 US American dollars. So the tariffs are kind of the added little extra chunk on there. Do you have any guess on when it releases? They did say that in the Direct.
This fall.
It releases June 5th.
Oh, that's sooner than that.
Yeah, just a little over 2 months.
That's smart, though, because you're going to get the kids, like, summer.
Yeah.
Kids are going to like for summer break.
Yes. Okay. So what they did show in that first teaser was a little teaser of a new Mario Kart. Knew nothing about it. So they opened
Did you
with
show
that.
me that?
I think so.
Okay.
You saw that. So opened with that and kind of with more of a fuller details. And it's called Mario Kart World. There'll be 24 racers at a time. It's all one big interconnected world. So all the tracks are kind of this big map. And there's even in the Grand Prix, you drive from one race to the next. And I don't know what that impacts, but it's fun because it's just all one big thing, which is really cool.
It's kind of like, is it a Forza?
Exact Forza Horizon. Yes, exactly. That's it. I was about to ask if you don't know, so you didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, no, nothing. Okay. Some other big news. This might be, hopefully, this is the deciding thing for you. So we thought going in, the collective we thought there'd be more like other Nintendo characters, like they had Link in Mario Kart.
Yeah, sure.
So I thought they would kind of go more that route of adding in this other Nintendo characters, but they more added in about every minor Mario character you can think of. Okay. So you can play as a cow from Moo Moo Meadows.
I do like that.
Yeah, so I need a little more from you for that.
No, I do like that. I have a question about but for Mario Kart World, can you play that? Is it backwards compatible?
It is not. It is only on the Switch 2. Yes.
Okay.
But there are Switch 1 games that are compatible. Most all of them.
But that's their money maker, so they probably wouldn't want to make it.
Yeah. And they also announced that there will be a specific Direct on Mario Kart coming on April 17th.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
That's a good date.
Mm-hmm.
Next, they showed what they called GameChat on the controller. There's a little C button. It's a little tiny icon, C. And basically, they reinvented Zoom for Nintendo or Discord, where you have like little icons on the bottom where you can just press the GameChat button and people start talking to you. It's your friends. I think they wouldn't want you to do strangers because they're Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. So it's just audio, no video.
It is video. You need to buy a camera. There's a camera that's an official licensed Nintendo camera. I think it remains to be seen if you could just plug in any webcam.
Yeah.
Probably not. We'll see. I don't know. I think some text said compatible, so who knows?
Okay.
But you also can screen share too, so you can like see each other's game. You can playing different games. It's just kind of like they really approached it like you're all in the same place together, even when you're separate. It's really cute and nice.
Do they do like a divided screen?
It's like you get your big screen, and then there's 4 little screens on the bottom of theoretically 4 people.
So would this pretty much only be then it's plugged into the TV?
That's a good question. There is a mic built into the Switch, and that's still a mic you would use. So it's kind of, they've talked about how it's got this great like noise canceling tech and everything. Mm-hmm. There's not, the camera's freestanding they showed. Yeah, I wonder if they would have, because there's a USB-C port on top too, because there's one on the bottom for the charging. Now there's 2. There's one on the bottom, one on top. I could see them like releasing a little webcam. You just plug on top. You just
stick out to
Yeah. Okay. So it's all of the above, but I don't know how they would solve that.
It just does feel like you'd be giving up screen space.
Yes, it did seem like that too.
Shit.
I'll show you that once we're done here and how it all works. It's a little funky. Yeah. But it's funny, they made their own Zoom for Nintendo stuff.
I think good.
They did also announce GameShare, which is you can play online, like multiple Switches on the same network. So you have two Switches next to each other.
Yes.
So, but now you only have one copy of the game. So it's like if we had the Switch 2 and you had Switch 1, we could play, what's a good example? I guess Smash Brothers. Using the one card we have. And we would play online together that way. So that's kind of a way to like, it's kind of like you're playing local multiplayer, but across multiple Switches.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
So yeah, that's a nice little.
It's really good too for like families and multiple kids.
So yes, exactly.
Or going to a friend's house.
Yeah, and I guess that would be compatible for. I don't know if that's all Switch 1s will get that too, if you need a Switch 2 to do that.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. Make it by doubt. They then dug into a lot of different specs. So one of the things they pointed out is it's a bigger screen, the same thickness. It's literally the title text on the screen was bigger screen, same thickness. Okay. In case you didn't know. It's really important. They want you to know.
They created the OLED. It was already bigger, right? Switches.
I think so. Yeah. Okay. Not by much. Okay. This is definitely bigger than the OLED.
I seem to remember that from
but the big thing here is, I was surprised by this, but some games will go up to 120 frames per second. Does that mean anything to you?
No.
That's fine. It makes it like...
It's like smoother.
Yeah. Like...
What's the frame per second on the Switch?
It depends. Some games are 60, some games are 30. Oh. And then the worst kind of comes is like when you're playing Breath of the Wild and you go into the Lost Woods and it gets like really jittery. Mm-hmm. That's like the frame rate dropping. So that's even going below 30 because it's working extra hard in the background. This is more like they showed Breath of the Wild in particular of like, this is now a smooth 60 frames per second, kind of no matter what.
Interesting.
But some games go up to 120.
Wow.
And also HDR, which stands for high dynamic something, but it makes the lighting look really nice.
Maybe resolution.
That would make sense. Yeah. The Joy-Con can be mice. It's like hold on that side.
Oh, like a cursor.
Yes. Yep. Like.
I thought you meant like the decoration of a mouse, and I was like, doesn't feel bad.
Nah, yeah. I mean, you could. Yeah. Theoretically. So a handful of games will use like mouse controls. So like if a game from PC comes over, I wonder if Sturdy Valley might do this. That'd be cool to have like the mouse as.
Yeah, that would be nice. I think I'm not used to it.
Yeah, true. There's 3D sound if you're wearing headphones, so it sounds like stuff is in different directions and all the stuff. There's the 2 USB ports. There's 256 gigabytes of storage in the system. There's 32 gigabytes in the Switch 1.
Yeah, but it's not that big a deal, right? Because typically, Nintendo games aren't that.
Yeah, they're not. They're usually pretty small. Yeah. For comparison, the Xbox has 1 terabyte, which is 1,000 gigs.
Right. Yeah, that's so much bigger.
Yeah. There's also 4K support when it's docked, which is also surprising. Not for every game, but like that's a highest resolution.
And that's the thing, though, with the resolution, where it's like, it doesn't, they're already, like, in real life, like, you know what I'm saying? The difference between, like, COD or even Halo, even though that's still kind of not super realistic rendering.
Yeah.
It's like, what is it going to give you with Yoshi looking a little bit more like a cartoon, you know?
See, I don't know. I think it does feel like the frame rate, I think, is the bigger factor here more than resolution. Because like Nintendo's always been great about art style of like, it looks nice kind of no matter what, but make it look smoother, that will just make it look better.
Okay.
So I think the biggest factor will be also lighting. Like, does lighting look better in certain games?
Sort of. Okay.
And that's kind of where a lot of the tech has gone.
Okay.
I'm skipping ahead a bit here. There's a welcome tour, which is like this little. You walk around on this. There's a little mini guy on the Switch too, and you can look at different things that tell you how it works. It's like a little tutorial and teaches you about it, but it's like they're gonna make it pay for it, which is weird. It feels like the sort of thing of make it free and who knows.
People skip it anyway to get it free.
That's true.
So pay for it.
I don't know. Who knows?
How much was it?
They didn't say.
Oh.
So that's everything here. They never said the price. They released all the prices after the fact. That's the big thing.
Was this one made for the US?
This Direct.
Yeah.
It was worldwide.
You make it outside?
Yeah, I guess like
currency.
I mean, they customize it with the currency usually. So like the Japanese Direct will have Japanese speakers, obviously, but also like it'll be yen instead of dollars, or even the Nintendo of UK will have it in pounds.
Yeah.
They just didn't say anything like no pricing at all for any of this stuff until afterward in these press releases. They're making these Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Switch 1 games. So it's like you can get these in upgrade packs, which another thing they didn't say the pricing of these.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the games will have like whole new content. Like there's a new Mario Party called Mario Party Jamboree that now has like a new mode that uses the camera and a new mode that uses the mouse function. If we owned that game, we could pay, I think maybe $20 is what it would be, because now they show that you can buy it as a Switch 2 edition with the game and everything for $80. So it's like 60 plus 20.
Yeah.
They're also doing that for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And this one, it's not as big. There's some new stuff in it, but there's not like a whole new story thing. But that's free with having Switch Online. So we just get that for free.
For both of them?
Mm-hmm. And that's like, it has better resolution, better frame rate, uses the HDR. There's also this now thing called Zelda Notes using your smartphone app, where it has, basically it's like Google Maps to find Koroks. It just literally a GPS voice tells you where to go.
That's hilarious.
There's some like lore diary stuff. If you go to a certain spot, like a Zelda will start narrating about the spot. And you can send, in Tears of the Kingdom, you can like upload and send your little craft creations so people can download them. And
yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So does it matter if you have the physical card versus the online?
You would buy it if you had the physical, you would buy it like it's DLC. So like if someone borrowed Breath of the Wild, they would theoretically not have, if they don't have Switch Online, they would not have that. They would not. All extra stuff. Okay. They did release, there's a handful of Switch 1 games I think will get added to that have just kind of a natural improved playability is what they called it. Mm-hmm. Like Mario Odyssey, Link's Awakening, the new Pokemon games. That's just by default for free. They'll just work better.
For sure. Yeah.
I'd be interested if Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom have that at least for free.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Then they showed this new game using the mouse function called Dragon Drive or Drag X Drive. It's like a Rocket League version of wheelchair basketball. It looked interesting. It does not really look that fun to play. It's like you're using both mice. Like it shows them you're doing the wheelchair with the mice by pushing them forward. And it seems like a kind of a bear to play. Okay. So.
It reminds me of like Mario Strikers. Like kind of that vein. I feel like that one just didn't play very well.
Well, that's like a normal using the controller.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. You're thinking of Switch Sports or something like that?
No.
Oh, okay. I would like Mario Strikers. I think it played great, but you don't know.
I think we played it very much at home.
The problem with that game is it just didn't have a whole lot of stuff in it. It was kind of like it played great, but that was about it.
So you didn't use any of the motion controls for Striker?
No.
Okay, then maybe I am thinking of the soccer and
then Switch Sports.
The sport, yeah.
They showed a bunch of third-party games. Elden Ring's a big deal. That's coming to Switch 2. Hades 2, Hades 1. Street Fighter 6 is a big deal. Split Fiction is that new game from It Takes Two people. So that's coming to Switch 2. The EAFC, which used to be FIFA, it's the big soccer game. Madden's coming.
Oh wow, that feels like a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Madden, yeah.
They've
I
always.
guess FIFA too. But
FIFA was on Switch 1, but it was always like the diet version. It was just not very good. Madden just didn't come at all. So Madden's a big deal. Handful of others. Then there was remember Hyrule Warriors?
Oh yeah. Everything I don't like about
about Breath of the Wild, it cranked it to 11.
Yeah.
Well, they're making a new one that's based off of Tears of the Kingdom. So it's kind of like the story when Zelda goes back in time.
Is it still the weird, like, not the same developers doing it?
Yes, it's a different developer. Yeah, I don't think it looks that fun. They did announce that GameCube games are coming to Switch Online, which is a big deal. Very exciting. They're starting with 3 games, being Wind Waker, which I think a lot of people are bummed about because there was the HD Wind Waker that we played on Wii U.
Yeah.
This is the original GameCube version, not even the HD version. So it's kind of a step backward in a weird way.
Interesting.
Soul Calibur 2 is a sword fighting game, and F-Zero GX, which is an F-Zero's racing game. There's kind of improved image quality and higher resolution they add to these, and then there's other games will come in the future, like Mario Strikers, the original for GameCube. Some other third-party games, and this is where there was, let's see, in the middle of this, there was this one called Survival Kids where the stream froze, like, for everyone.
No.
So I had to jump to, like, the UK stream because whatever happened inside Nintendo of America that stopped this. So that was just an odd thing that happened during the Direct. They also showed Cyberpunk 2077, which is a really big deal. It's this big open world game that was a disaster at first because it was like too ambitious, and they fixed it.
Yeah, okay.
So, Final Fantasy VII Remake, that was exclusive to the PlayStation. Now it's here too. More sizzle reel stuff. It was kind of quick shots. They showed Hollow Knight Silksong, which is a sequel to Hollow Knight that was announced like 2017, like right after Hollow Knight came out.
Was Hollow Knight exclusive to Switch?
No. It was a big deal for Switch. Like, it was kind of just one of the big indies that like it kind of mutually benefited the Switch and Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
But this is a meme at this point where this long lost sequel like shows up once every 3 years. Okay. And people are like, it's every time there's a game announcement stuff, people are asking, where is Silksong? It doesn't matter what it is, who's doing it, people want to see Silksong because people love Hollow Knight. And it should appear, but for like 3 seconds, which is just kind of hilarious, actually. They also announced Fortnite. It will be there.
Oh, okay.
And then there was a game from Software, which is known for Dark Souls, Bloodborne. That doesn't matter. It does matter. I don't really care. You don't really care. But they're these really beloved games that are super hard, very like dark and dreary, and just known. People love them for whatever reason. But they're making an exclusive game for Switch too, which is a really big deal. They then showed Kirby Air Riders, which is a sequel to Kirby Air Ride from the GameCube, which is very surprising to see because I thought that was long lost. That's a Kirby racing game.
Okay.
So it's kind of weird they had both Mario Kart and Kirby, but whatever.
I mean, that one would be, I'm sure, cheaper, right?
Surely. Like, the baseline is probably 70.
No.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in the past, were there some that were like 35 or 40, and then you'd have the 60?
Yeah, like the WarioWare games. Those were 50.
Like, really? 50?
I think they were 50. I think we bought one for 40 because it was like...
Maybe on sale.
Yeah. But it used to be the baseline 60. They're probably hopping on the train of 70 being the baseline. It could be less. Of like, if they're doing kind of these maybe random ones where Mario Kart's 80, Like I kind of think like the next Animal Crossing will probably be 80.
Yeah, the big ones.
Like these massive ones that are also have theoretically could have a lot more like content after
DLC,
launch. Yeah. And like maybe that's free. Or they just add on more tracks to Mario Kart for free. Hopefully. But having like the next Smash Bros will probably be $80 and the next Animal Crossing. So
okay.
and they ended with Donkey Kong Bonanza, spelled Bananza, like a banana. Bonanza. Yeah. It's like a 3D platformer game. Looks really great. He's wearing pants now. Looks very nice.
Oh, that's a pause?
I guess so. Okay. Yeah. It's like it got some nice suspenders.
Is he still the tie?
Yes. He's got this whole different redesign where it looks a little more cartoony. It looks a little more like more inspired by the original arcade game.
Okay.
So we can show you.
Will Diddy Kong be in it?
I don't know. They did not show him. We'll find out.
Funky Kong.
Funky Kong. I don't know. That's also in Mario Kart. They showed no other Kongs. Only Donkey Kong. So that's what has me wondering too. Of like, would there be a more of a Donkey Kong themed Grand Prix DLC, or if like
you unlock them maybe the only ones you could pick.
I don't. They also, this is the second time we've seen the game. There could be a lot more to it.
Yeah.
If there's like the penguin from Mario 64 is a character, so if the penguin is a character, hopefully Diddy Kong's there too.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they took Diddy Kong.
Yes. So that's kind of everything. It's a little surprising of just by sheer number of games. There's a lot more third-party stuff. There's really only 3 fully first-party games, being Mario Kart, Kirby, Air Ride, and Donkey Kong. Because Hyrule Warriors is kind of like second party, you would say. There's one exclusive from FromSoft, and then the 2 other smaller games of like the wheelchair game and the Nintendo Switch 2 Tour. And so yeah, and then they just said the price will be revealed on the website after the direct, probably because they didn't know what it would be. So that is kind of everything. What I'm most excited about, I think, is Mario Kart. That's what's got me jazzed, and that's coming out the day that comes out.
Sure. Yeah. Of
course. What do you think?
I mean, maybe I'd see it. I've had different feelings.
Sure. We can.
I feel a little bit underwhelmed.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, but I think maybe we talked about this before, but something like mechanical that could be interesting, like the Wii added the motion sensing, and that was like a crazy deal. And then, the Switch, but kept building off of that. But then they added the portable element, like something that really did, you could now engage with differently.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little bit disappointed that there's not something like that.
The mouse is the biggest thing there.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But it's like, even that, it's like, well, we've been playing mice for decades.
Right. That's actually predates the first
Nintendo. Which hopefully they do more interesting stuff. I can see that being of like, well, this game is on computer, so you have the option of using the mouse. Yeah. Hopefully Nintendo has more interesting stuff up their sleeve.
Do you think they would ever do touchscreen?
Well, the Switch is a touchscreen. The DS was the whole thing.
That's what I was thinking. The DS. I couldn't think of what it was.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I've just never thought. You know what? I use touchscreen when I'm typing stuff in.
Oh, true.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Does any game even use
Mario Maker? You could use touchscreen to use stuff like that.
Yeah, but
that's also one of the games that's like people were talking about after the fact. Like, wait, why didn't they add mouse support to Mario Maker yet? Because that seems like that'd be an obvious application.
It's crazy that I just completely forgot it. Because I just don't.
You never thought about it. You never had to use it.
Yeah. And your Steam Deck isn't, or is it?
It is.
It is. So
yeah. But that comes in more handy because sometimes it's a game that expects like a mouse click. So it's I can just use my finger. That's actually the biggest thing is like the Switch 2 is probably more powerful than the Steam Deck.
Oh, interesting.
I think so. They're like pretty comparable, but I think this probably, the fact it can do 120 frames per second, 4K, I think is a bigger deal. I don't think the Steam Deck can do that. At least mine doesn't.
Yeah, interesting.
So, there you have it. We can talk more about what it looks like.
Give it a whirl. June when?
June 5th. So, well, TBDs. Hopefully we're going to June 5th. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Time will tell. I'll show you some of these trailers and you can see more what's exciting.
Get our soundboard.
That's true. He loves Mario Kart. He loves Mario Kart.
Yeah. He can't play it.
Nah, but he can love it from afar. But our time is short. I gotta know, Sarah, one name, one game. What are you playing?
I thought about that you were going to ask me this, and then I'm embarrassed to admit I'm really not playing anything right now. So I was like neck deep in Balatro.
You're playing Substack, just reading blogs.
Yes, I've gotten really into Substack now with our young child reading while I'm nursing. I got really into Balatro, but I beat all of the. I opened all the decks. I got all the jokers except for that one that is that really high value hand.
Do the 100 million in one hand.
So I just kind of burned out. And then I started doing I've done maybe 7 of the challenges, but they're kind of getting silly.
Yeah.
So I think I burned out all the Balatro and I haven't really.
Sad. End of an era. You were really into Balatro for a good bit there.
It was, yeah, which would have been better timing because I feel like for rocking to sleep and breastfeeding, it would have been perfect. But yeah, I mean, playing Switch, you need 2 hands mostly. Yeah. So I really haven't been playing Switch.
We've done a little Mario Kart too.
We have. Yeah. Yeah, that's most recently I've played Mario Kart with y'all 2 times.
Yeah, well, I've been playing, if I remember the title, a game about digging a hole.
Yeah.
That's good. You dig a hole?
And you've been enjoying it?
I've been really enjoying it. It's really dumb. Yeah. It's just very satisfying. Well, Sarah, are you out on the internet anywhere?
Yeah, recently on Substack.
There you go. Follow Sarah Erickson on Substack.
And I think my Twitter is still active.
Yeah.
The account.
Yeah.
But I have not posted on it.
Not active.
It's literally probably 10 years.
Fair enough.
But it's still there.
Well, thank you all for listening in. You can follow us on the major podcasting services or on YouTube. You can press all the good buttons if you enjoyed the conversation, and you can find us on the proper socials at Quick Play Pod and let us know what was your favorite thing from the Direct. And we'll go find out if we're getting switched to or not. And that's all the time we have for today. Thanks. Bye.